Welcome back, everybody. If you're new, my name's Nicholas, and this is Investing Against the Grain. In today's episode, we are going to talk about the calm before the storm, that is TSLA. That's right, Tesla stock ticker, TSLA, is set to probably have a crazy next couple of days. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about it to get ahead of any kind of crazy movements that might happen and try to explain them away. Before we get into it, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring that bell. If you want to support the channel, you can find my Patreon link down below. You can also find a link to our merchandise store down below. All right, with that said, let's get into it. Before we get into the calm before the storm about Tesla stock, I want to say a special thank you to everybody who gave their congratulations to my fiance for passing her examination. This is a long examination that it's over a culmination of 2 to 3 years, so it's a big weight off her shoulders. Very proud of her. Congratulations to her. And while we're at it, let me highlight 2 people who commented. First, I want to give a shout out to Steel City King. I thought this was a pretty funny, scary response that he had to my post yesterday, saying, "My heart dropped because I thought I was going to read passed away at first." So don't worry, Steel City King. She's alive, doing really well right now. She's in very good spirits, so don't worry, everything's fine with her. But I want to highlight one other person, Barry Cromer. What is this? Congrats to her, sure, but then you throw me under the bus? Come on, Barry. I don't have any makeup on. What is this? Are you telling me I need makeup? I'm not sure what this is all about, but hey, she's right here in front of me, so stop putting makeup on me. Come on, Barry. You're supposed to be on my side, not her side. All right, well, all jokes aside, let's talk about what I think is going to happen over the next couple days. Now, like I mentioned, it's the calm before the storm. If you saw Tesla on Monday, we closed into the green barely. If you saw it on Tuesday, we closed in the green barely. And now today, as I'm doing this video right now, we're technically still in the green. We're up about, call it $9, $10, which is actually pretty good considering the whole market is just kind of steady, flat line, if not a little red. Now, why is this the calm? What's the storm that's coming? Well, the first is going to be tomorrow on Thursday. So take a look at this. This is from Troy Teslite, and he says, tomorrow around this time, China Passenger Car Association will release Tesla China production, domestic sales, and export numbers for May. Between these 3 numbers, only the production number matters. I estimate 32,443 production. Now, why is this a big deal? Well, as we all know, Giga Shanghai was closed down for essentially all of April. And then we went into May, and essentially it was very limited opening in May. So this number is essentially going to give us a very good guidance of what to expect, at least for how bad of a Q2 miss we might have with regards to Tesla. Now, if his number is low, then that could be very good for us. That could be very bullish for Tesla stock. If it's way too high, if he's off by a lot, and it's actually a lot lower than this, this may show that Shanghai is actually not coming back with a vengeance as Elon Musk had predicted in the Q1 earnings call, but instead that Tesla is actually struggling to ramp back up with all these COVID lockdowns, even though they've had a closed loop system in the factory and they've had about 2 shifts back for some time now. So keep an eye out for this number. Tomorrow will be a big deal one way or another, I think. However, it's not going to be as big of a deal as what's to come on Friday. Friday is D-Day. Friday is when the actual storm touchdowns. Now, this could be a benevolent storm or this could be an ominous storm. Who knows at this point? What am I talking about? We're talking about CPI numbers. Okay, May CPI, so essentially the inflation read for May is due to come out at 8:30 a.m. on Friday. Now, if we get, say, about a 8.2, 8.1% number or lower, this could be very good news for Tesla stock and just the stock market in general, because it will mean that inflation is slowing down, and you couple that with everything that's going on as far as the economy slowing down. This puts pressure on the Fed to maybe back off a little bit because inflation's coming down, but the economy's slowing down as well. So the Fed may pause after their June, July 50 basis point hike. However, this is the scary part. If inflation comes at 8.3% or higher, this could just spell destruction in the stock market. All right, the stock market might just sell off and tank, because this means not only is inflation continuing to go higher, or maybe being in this stagflation period of higher inflation rates, but couple that with the fact that we all see that the economy is slowing down. Couple that with the fact that we see that we're probably in a recession, right? These indicators for GDP are showing 2 consecutive negative quarters now. Keep in mind the quarter's not over yet, but it's what it's trending towards. This would mean that the Fed is just really screwed. All right. Not only is the Fed not going to have inflation under control, but then they're going to be in the midst of this recession. And then on top of that, what we see with housing, I mean, just in general, right? It's just everything will essentially be going the wrong way, despite everything the Fed is trying to do really retroactively, right? They've been slow to move all along. So I kind of spoke out of both sides of my mouth there. What do I mean by that? Well, I said if we come out 8.3%, we might be good in the stock market, or it might be bad for the stock market. Now, this really depends on the inflection of the consumer, of the investors, okay? Now, some people might see this Friday number, if we come essentially at expectation, 8.283, right? That would be in line with what we saw in April. Some people might see that as, okay, this means we have hit peak inflation, but it's going to take us some time to come down. Other people might say, okay, this is a bad situation, because now we're in a stagflation, meaning we essentially aren't moving anywhere. We have prolonged inflation. And on top of that, we don't know if we're going to be coming down or not, or we might just be here for a while. But some people might think that, hey, this is a good sign. It means we hit peak and it's coming down. So you can look at this either way is the point. Now, how the market dictates this is really an open question. The only way I think we really see a decisive move one way or another is if we're above 8.3% or if we're below 8.2%. And on top of that, you have to account for energy. Now, CPI normally takes energy out of the equation, but we can't really think of it this way, because even though you take energy out, and energy has gone up like crazy in the month of May, you have to understand things like airline flights still reflect higher oil prices, shipping costs, containers, right? I mean, everything in the economy still moves and gets transported with fuel. So even though they exclude fuel from these numbers, right, oil in general, we still see them reflected in the CPI numbers, because, right, industry passes this on to consumers. So this is going to be a very, very tricky Friday, all right? And don't be surprised if, say, we hit a certain number, it's 8:30 a.m., the market starts to rally into the open, and around 10, 12 p.m., all of a sudden it sells off again, right? We've seen this happen time and time again now. So a lot can happen in the next 2 days, and it can all be very good. It can all be very bad as well. So what are we doing? Why are we talking about this? Well, again, investing in the long term essentially makes all of this irrelevant. Investing in the long term allows you to not worry about these little things, right? At least not from your portfolio perspective. Now, even though we think about the long term, it's still important to understand where we are with the economy, if for no other reason, for your day-to-day spending, right? What decisions are you making? Are you choosing to go out to dinner? Are you choosing to start that home renovation project, right? Are you choosing to buy that new sofa, right? All these different things start to have implications on your day-to-day life as money supply starts to get tighter. So it's important for you to be updated on these things, and that's why a channel like mine exists, so that I can help you, inform you, so you don't have to be on top of it all. The biggest things that we really want to focus on right now: is inflation coming down and not getting hotter? Are we in a recession? And what is the state of Tesla with Giga Shanghai? All right. If Giga Shanghai shows to be ramping up impressively and as we expected it to, then that's going to be bullish. If CPI number comes in lower than expected, maybe even at expectation, then that could be bullish. And if we somehow get to a point where we find out that we don't have 2 negative consecutive GDP quarters, well, then maybe we can skid and avoid a recession. However, part of me thinks that there's a chance that if we do fall into a recession, that we will actually start to rally in the stock market. So a lot going on here. This is the calm before the storm. Like I said, we've essentially had Monday, Tuesday in the stock market with Tesla, essentially nothing, right? Up a couple dollars here and there. And as of right now, right, it's been a little bit now since I last spoke. We are still holding up about call it $11 now a share with Tesla, when literally the Dow, S&P 500, and the NASDAQ are all down. So Tesla holding up strong. Tesla wants to run, but it needs a reason. So let's hope tomorrow we get good numbers from China. Let's hope that we have a good CPI number. And let's hope that if we are in a recession, it's a mild one and we get out of it fast. All right. Hope this was helpful. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring that bell. I love you all. Peace.